Know the top stories of the day. Understand the issues that matter. This is Manila Bulletin News on Web. Your quick rundown of top news in the country and around the world. Manila Bulletin, celebrating 120 years of timely stories and timeless truths. Be fully informed. Hi, I'm Barbie Atienza. This is MB Now, and here are your news on web. Malacanang said that all passengers arriving in the Philippines are now required to undergo facility-based quarantine as the government steps up its efforts in addressing the new and more contagious COVID-19 strain. Presidential spokesman Harry Roque made the statement after the government added the Czech Republic to the growing list of countries included in the travel ban. Roque said the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases adopted the new quarantine and testing protocols for all persons allowed to enter the Philippines. The new protocols will take effect on February 1, 2021. According to Roque, arriving passengers, regardless of their origin, shall be required to undergo facility-based quarantine upon arrival. They shall undergo an RT-PCR test on the fifth day unless the passenger shows symptoms at an earlier date while on quarantine. Once a passenger tests negative, the passenger shall be endorsed to the local government unit of destination, where the passenger shall continue the remainder of the 14-day quarantine under the strict monitoring of the LGU. Roque said appropriate patient management shall be observed. Meantime, the Philippines will not be accepting travelers coming from the Czech Republic starting January 28, following the detection of B.1.1.7 COVID-19 variant that originated in the United Kingdom. The Czech Republic is the 36th jurisdiction covered by the travel ban, which is set to last until January 31. Astrazeneca's COVID-19 vaccine, which is awaiting an emergency use authorization or EUA in the country, has received favorable recommendation from the country's panel of experts, according to the Food and Drugs Administration on Wednesday. FDA Director General Eric Domingo said both the Technical Quality Panel and Safety and Efficacy Panel have finished its evaluation of the vaccine and have given AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine positive recommendations. Domingo said the process for granting AstraZeneca an EUA was shorter compared to other vaccines because it already has an EUA from the United Kingdom, which has a stringent regulatory body. Domingo hopes to finish going through the evaluation as soon as possible, saying that he wants to get it over with within the week. Filipinos are after the overall safety of the vaccine before deciding to be vaccinated against COVID-19, according to a survey conducted by church-run Radio Veritas. Around 7 out of 10 Filipinos, or 67% of respondents, answered safety when asked, what is your primary consideration when deciding on whether or not you would be vaccinated against COVID-19? This was followed by efficacy at 17%, country of manufacture at 8%, testimony of early users at 6%, and purpose of use at 2%. Brother Clifford T. Sorita, Veritas Truth Survey head, said the government should provide the public with easily understandable, scientifically based information and ensure that concerns are addressed early and often to build trust and confidence in the vaccination efforts. The online survey on the COVID-19 vaccination used a stratified sample of 1,200 respondents nationwide and conducted from January 4 to 22, 2021. The respondents' answers were gathered through a text-based and online data gathering process. The proposed Duterte presidential ticket is getting traction outside Metro Manila. Some Pangasinan political leaders have rallied behind the powerful tandem of Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte and her father, President Duterte, if they decide to run in 2022 presidential elections. This according to Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Salvador Panelo. Panelo, who visited Pangasinan last weekend, said the local leaders have embraced, not only warmly, but also excitedly, the idea of a Duterte-Duterte tandem, believing it would be unbeatable in the next year's presidential polls. The palace official shared his idea on the potential presidential ticket when he attended a dinner fellowship hosted by Mayor Cesar Quiambao of Bayambang, Pangasinan. Several local government officials were present in the gathering last Saturday. Panelo also welcomed that even Pangasinan's prominent leaders with different political affiliations were amenable to the proposed Duterte-Duterte ticket. Panelo said while he proposed the idea of the tandem to ensure the continuity of the administration's reforms and gains, it was still up to the local leaders to spread such an idea. In Metro News, Manila's NCAP spots close to 15,000 traffic violators in just 46 days. Pasig City to use public schools as COVID-19 vaccination sites, and Mayor Belmonte vows to protect UP Diliman's academic freedom. More from this report.
Nearly 15,000 traffic violators were caught through the City of Manila's Non-Contact Apprehension Program or NCAP from the time the project was implemented on December 7, 2020 until January 22, 2021. The Manila Traffic and Parking Bureau said of the 14,880 traffic violators, notice of the violations were sent by courier to 6,570 erring motorists. The violations committed were mostly obstruction of the pedestrian lane, disregarding lane markings, and disregarding traffic lights. The Manila City government began implementing the NCAP last month to identify and penalize traffic violators in a safer way. At least 36 highly efficient cameras that operate around the clock were installed in selected areas around the city. The local government of Pasig City is planning to use public schools as COVID-19 vaccination centers in the city. During the visit of the Coordinated Operations to Defeat Epidemic or CODE team to Pasig on Tuesday, Mayor Vico Soto explained that the public schools are a suitable venue for the implementation of the city's inoculation program against COVID-19. He noted that the local government will ask permission from the Department of Education for the use of such facilities for the vaccination program. The mayor stressed that residents would not be forced to get vaccinated but urged them to take the opportunity when the vaccine becomes available. Quezon City Mayor Joy Belmonte has assured the University of the Philippines Diliman of her support for academic freedom and vowed that the local government will protect the university from erring police officers. Belmonte on Tuesday said that academic freedom will always be protected and upheld in her city as she acknowledged its importance following her previous teaching career in the university. On January 19, Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana ended this agreement with UP as he noted that accord only serves as a hindrance to government forces that cannot conduct anti-communist operations inside the campuses. The move was not welcomed by members of the UP community and drew protests and backlash from various individuals, including several lawmakers.
Here are the top news in other parts of the country. Fugitive NPA rebel killed in clash with government troops in Isabela. Central Visayas gears up for arrival of COVID-19 vaccines. And BIFF hand seen in Maguindanao roadside explosion. Here are the details.
A new People's Army rebel who had been in hiding for 13 years for double murder was killed in a firefight with the military and police in San Agustin, Isabela on Tuesday, January 26. The fugitive was identified as Renato Busanya, who was also known as Andong, Ace, and Merding. Busanya is a regional military staff member of the Kilusang Rehiyon, Cagayan Valley and was wanted for double murder in Etiaga, Isabela and another double murder case in Madela, Quirino. The Department of Health in Central Visayas has started preparing for the rollout of the coronavirus disease vaccine in the region. Their preparations include the ongoing negotiations with pharmaceutical companies and other establishments capable of storing the vaccines. They are also preparing for the training and retraining of barangay health emergency response teams for the coming vaccination. The DOH in Central Visayas is also looking for ultra-low freezers or biomed freezers that can generate negative 70 degrees centigrade temperatures. The health department intends to vaccinate at least 60% of the entire population in the city to achieve herd immunity. The improvised explosive device or IED that killed a motorist and wounded another in South UP Maguindanao on Tuesday bore the signature style of the terror group Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters or BIFF, the military reported. The blast, triggered by an IED fashioned from an 81mm mortar projectile, killed the motorcycle driver and wounded its back rider as they were passing Barangay Poblacion Romangaob in South UP at about 5:45 a.m. on Tuesday. The investigation by the military probe team pointed to a peace assembly by families locked in a land conflict in Barangay Kuya in South UP as the target of the roadside bombs. The gathering was also said to be attended by local officials led by the town mayor.
And in world news, Indonesia passes 1 million coronavirus cases. Changes to tongue, hands, and feet may flag virus according to a study. And Biden family dogs move into the White House. Let's watch this report.
Indonesia passed more than 1 million COVID-19 cases on Tuesday as the archipelago launches one of the world's biggest vaccine drives to clamp down on a soaring infection rate. Some hospitals are on the brink of collapse as they are overwhelmed with patients in one of Asia's worst heat nations. There are reports of patients being unable to access intensive care units and isolation rooms due to high demand, a shortage underscored by East Java City's move to outfit a trained carriage to accommodate the sick. Indonesia's government has been widely criticized for initially downplaying the pandemic and later for lacking a coherent crisis strategy. Indonesia is aiming to inoculate near 182 million people over the next 15 months. Changes to the tongue, the hands, or the soles of the feet could give an early indication of COVID-19 infection, Spanish research found in a study presented Tuesday. The conclusion emerged from research carried out among 666 patients with COVID-19 at Madrid's IFEMA Field Hospital, set up during the first wave of the pandemic, the regional government said. 1 in 4 patients said they had noticed changes in their tongue, while 4 out of 10 spotted unusual signs on palms of their hands or soles of their feet. The study was carried out in April by healthcare professionals from Madrid's La Paz Hospital and Primary Care Services, with the findings published in the British Journal of Dermatology in the form of a research letter in September. The first dogs have entered the White House. The Biden's 2 German Shepherds, Champ and Major, officially joined the first family in the new residence at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue on Sunday, January 24. Last May 10, 2012, Biden's dog Champ once helped in preparation of Mother's Day sent to the homes of U.S. naval mothers and wives as part of the Joining Forces service event with spouses of members of Congress at the Naval Observatory in Washington, D.C.
In entertainment, Star Magic has appealed to the public to stop spreading the malicious edited photos of its stars Sue Ramirez and Maurice Racal on social media. In a statement, Star Magic made the appeal to netizens and that they intend to pursue legal action against the perpetrators and anyone who posts, distributes, or duplicates the images. Maurice Racal took to the social media her anger and said that people should stop harassing women's bodies. Sue Ramirez, on the other hand, fumes as she shares her frustration on why some people did such a thing on the said photo. Sue also reminded netizens not to believe everything that is posted online and asked those who saw and received the photo not to share it anymore. In sports, basketball fans gathered across Los Angeles on Tuesday to remember Kobe Bryant, 1 year to the day after the former NBA superstar perished in a helicopter crash with daughter Gianna and 7 others. Fans laid flowers and Los Angeles Lakers memorabilia at a makeshift memorial outside the Staples Center, the arena where Bryant became a city icon during a 2-decade playing career. Bryant, 41, his daughter and fellow passengers died on January 26 last year when the helicopter they were traveling in slammed into hillside in Calabasas in foggy conditions. In a post on Instagram, Bryant's widow, Vanessa, published a letter she had received from one of her daughter's best friends, which read in part, "You have probably heard this, but if I ever become a mom, I hope my daughter turns out to be exactly as yours." In today's Tech Talk, a robotic arm that can draw, engrave, and print in 3D. The Manila Bulletin Tech Lab recently tested out a new gadget that can do all of this and more. Our Manila Bulletin Tech News editor has the details.
With the recently concluded CES 2021, a lot of interesting gadgets have been introduced. One of those is a robotic arm that can just do about anything. Hi, I'm Art Samaniego, and this is Tech Talk. The Robot Magician is a multifunctional desktop robotic arm for practical training, education, and more. It can perform different tasks depending on what you have attached at the end of its arm. You can control it via Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, programming, and more. Here at the Manila Bulletin Tech Lab, we have put it to a test and used it for engraving, which it performs smoothly and efficiently. We have also tested it to print in 3D, and in just a few hours, we have created this figure. Now imagine what it can produce for more practical things, such as machine spare parts or more. The Robot Magician can also lend an extra arm, literally to people, just like programming it to pick up objects and drawing or writing. To some, the Robot Magician may look like a nerdy child's toy, but in reality, having such technology largely available gives opportunities to more people to explore, create, and produce new technologies that can help revolutionize our way of living. And that is Tech Talk for this week. Join us again next week for more tech updates. This is Art Samaniego, and this is Tech Talk. Be fully informed.
And those are the news on web today, January 27, 2021. For more news and details, get your copy of Manila Bulletin newspaper tomorrow or log on to www.mb.com.ph, where you may also subscribe to our newsletter through the link on this video's caption to have the day's latest news delivered to your inbox. I am Barbie Atienza from Manila Bulletin, celebrating 120 years of timely stories and timeless truths. Join us again tomorrow. This has been MB Now. Be fully informed.